LinkedIn profile tips. You are going to stand out. Tips and tricks. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This week I'm going to be giving my LinkedIn profile tips. I'm having loads of conversations with people lately and they're asking me for tips and I'm giving them out to everyone and it takes time, so I'm like, I'm just going to put it in a video so now I can send this video to people when they want LinkedIn tips. These are all things that I personally do and that I think are super helpful, and all things that I've learned over the last few months. And obviously, just disclaimer, like, you know, these are just things that I'm just a normal human. I learned from other people and I think they're super helpful, so I am going to spread them to you. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm obsessed with LinkedIn, and LinkedIn has connected me recently with a procrastination coach who said that I should mention that in my video this week. So I'm doing that because I'm not going to procrastinate that particular activity. So LinkedIn really can just be a wonderful place where you meet really cool people and do really cool things. So it's really not something that we should sleep on. So we should all be making our profiles the best that they can be. So without further ado, let's get into my profile tips and tricks. Okay, first off, you know the little voice recording thing? Basically, it's a new feature. The purpose of it is to record your name so that people know what your name is pronounced like. But recently, I saw someone do something really cool, and instead of just being like, Lauren Foley, they were like, hi, I'm so-and-so, blah, 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 like, have a look around my profile, connect with me, blah, blah, blah. So now I did that. So mine is like, hi, my name is pronounced Lauren Foley, have a look around my profile, if you like anything, connect with me. So cool. So I recommend you all do that. Next up, something you can do if you want is, instead of having your default button when someone goes onto your profile be connect, you can change it to follow. And there's a lot of kind of like psychology around this, that like, oh, it might make you seem more in demand if the first thing people see is follow, like makes you maybe seem more famous than you are or something, I don't know. But basically, if people are afraid to kind of be connected with people, if they see follow, it's a bit less scary, it's a bit less like committal, so they can just click the follow button. So that's, again, something you can do that might look good, that I have also on my profile. Thirdly, make sure that your profile picture is on the privacy setting that you want it to be. So the reason I say this is because I went to an event and they were like, oh yeah, make sure that everybody can see your profile photo, because it really is like one of the main things, and there's a lot of studies on that, like say that people without profile photos, or ones that you can't see, get way less connection requests, get way less people accepting their connection requests. Like just do worse, basically, if people can't see their profile photo. And I was at this event and I was like, oh my god, no, everyone can see mine, like it's totally public, blah, 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 like no need to worry. But I was like, okay, just to be certain, I'll go into my settings and check. And basically, it was on a setting where everyone who I was connected with could see it, but people who I think were either like second or third connections, or people who say weren't signed into LinkedIn but were just on LinkedIn, couldn't see it. And I was like, oh my god, okay, that's news to me, because I thought everyone can see my profile photo. So basically, just make sure that your setting is on the setting that you want. If you want everyone to see it, I would go in and make sure that that is the setting that's on there, because it wasn't for me. So I always make a point of saying that, just in case. Next up is make a cover photo. So many people do not have cover photos on LinkedIn, and it is wasted real estate. It just doesn't look great. It looks like you didn't really make an effort. Like, really make one. It's super simple. I made mine. Have a look. Feel free to look at mine. I made mine using Canva. Like, it's free, super easy, and it just, again, it's space for you to be creative, to show your personality, to show your interests. And again, so many people are not doing profile photo or cover photos, so if you have one, it makes you stand out straight away. Like, it's amazing. So I really would recommend everyone doing one. You can put your face in there, some text, some colors. Yeah, just do one. I recommend it. Next, I wanted to talk about all these open to work things. So you obviously have the little green kind of curvy thing that goes on a profile photo, and then you can also have on the open to work setting, like on your profile. There's a lot of debate over these about whether they actually help your chances or actually hurt your chances. I.e., you know, people think, oh, I'm looking for a job, I'll put on the open to work thing. But then there's a lot of talk that, okay, that makes you look desperate, and you know, HR people want people who are in demand, and they don't want someone who's not in demand. So if you have on, oh, I'm open to work, it makes you look that you're not in demand, therefore that you're not hire worthy. All this stuff goes on. So I personally had it on and then I took it off. But I still, you know, there's basically a big debate over it. So I'm not going to tell you to do either which way, but just to be aware. So think about it, maybe do some Googling and see whether you want to have it on or want to have it off, and what you think might work for you. Next up then is your headline. So this is like the line where you say what you are, what you do, and this is one of the most important parts of your profile, and I can't stress that enough, because when you're just like out and about and people are just seeing your profile come up on their timeline, they see your picture and they see your headline. So like, and even they don't even see like all your headline, because it, you know, if it's really long, it might just go like ... So like even the first few words of your headline need to be so important, because it follows you around everywhere. It needs to be to the point, say what you do, and just be eye-catching, and just be interesting. So again, like, do not waste this space with "I am looking for new opportunities." That is literally one of the worst things you can do, because that tells people nothing about who you are, nothing about what you do. Like, it's so uninteresting, and so many people have that on that it's just like, it just has lost all meaning. So literally, cardinal sin, do not put that in. Put in like your education, your interest. Even if you don't have a job, put in your interest. So like for me, you know, if I was unemployed, I still have, you know, like feminism, you know, gender equality, the areas I'm interested in. And again, LinkedIn is all about SEO, so search engine optimization. So it's all about these keywords. So you want to have these keywords all over your profile, and in your headline is one of the best places to do that. So having your areas of interest, having a couple different things. Say if you have a couple degrees, put those in there, or whatever. If you have a side hustle, put that in there. Like, have at least 2 or 3 things in there, not just like one thing. Or what some people do is they have a sentence. So they say, for example, "I help blank with blank by doing blank." You know, you can literally just say what you do, and that's becoming a lot more common and a lot more human. So that's actually quite nice as well. Next thing then is your location. So you can obviously have your location set to where you are. That makes most sense. Or if you're somewhere but you're looking for a job somewhere else, they say that you should maybe set your setting to that location, so that it makes you easier to find in that location. So again, something to think about. Then some tips for your bio. So this is kind of like the main chunky text area where you say who you are, what you do, blah, blah, blah. Basically, you want to, first of all, use the full character limit if you can. Secondly, make it like a story. So make it like, okay, what have you done and how have you gotten to where you are now, which is looking for a new job or whatever. Like, make it like a story. And again, don't be afraid to show personality, and that goes for your whole profile. Like, show your personality, show who you are. Everyone on LinkedIn is so stiff, so like, just be a human, and that is just, honestly, it's just so beneficial. And again, we think like, oh, it's really super professional, but like, you can be a human and also professional at the same time. So again, show personality. And they say that with your bio, like, don't make it like purely what you've done, like tailor it more towards what you're looking to do, because that's, I mean, that's why you're probably on LinkedIn. So really make it kind of like a nice mix of both. Like, make it kind of like, oh, I've done this and that makes me excellent to do this, and in the fields of this, and I'm looking for this. So kind of like a nice mix between the two. And then again, don't forget to finish it with a call to action. So something like, oh, email me at so-and-so, or find me at so-and-so. Like, put something in there where people can find you or connect with you, or just even say, you know, feel free to connect with me. Something nice like that. Then underneath that is like the featured section. So in here, for me, for example, I have like a link to my YouTube channel, link to my website, kind of like recent articles that I've been featured in, recent like videos that I've done, or things that are relevant. Like, again, just shows who you are. It just shows things that you couldn't put on a CV, because it's not a thing that you put on a CV. So basically, use LinkedIn to tell a story and put things that you couldn't really put on a CV. They're very different. So again, just put things that you've done, cool things that you want people to know you for, things that maybe don't fit in any of the other sections, but like might fit in the featured section and might look nice there. So then you want to obviously put in your job descriptions. You know, you want to have a good bit in there, but obviously not too much, because the people just aren't going to read that. So have kind of your main things in there. Again, your keywords. And one really handy tip that I heard was, say if you're looking at particular jobs that you want to go for, get those job descriptions and find a website that takes out the keywords, or the most commonly used words from those job descriptions. And again, get those keywords and sprinkle them all over your job descriptions or your profile in general. So I think that's actually a really cool tip that you can use. Again, just like makes you more employable, and again, it will just kind of connect your profile with the kind of jobs that you're looking for. And again, like in your job descriptions, like you can link to things. Like you can link to, say if you have a side hustle, like you can link to your website. If you work for a company, you can link to the company's website. If you've been featured in an article related to that employment, like put that in there. Like put like really just nice things in there. And again, if you go onto my profile, I have so many things just linked, any nice fun things I've done related to that particular bit of employment. And again, just adds character, adds to the story, makes you more interesting. Don't be afraid to do all these things and use LinkedIn for what it's for, and take advantage of every little feature that it has. Then the education section, again, like put in, you know, what, like in clubs or societies you were a part of, any nice stories. Like I have stories in there, like my bachelor's, how I love my bachelor's and I learned all this stuff, and it, you know, was the makings of me. And then for my master's, I have in that I hated my master's, but then it taught me all these things about life and what I was interested in. So again, don't be afraid to put those little stories in there. For me, I have my like particular like tests, scores and modules in it in the I think it's test scores section. So I have in my education section, oh, like tests or like, you know, modules and results are in the test score section below. So they can see, okay, I'm at her education section now, but if I go down, I can see all her results and modules that she studied. And again, like I have there linked some nice pictures from my time in college and some nice links to things. So again, just like put those things in there, and again, it just tells a story and shows more of who you are and what you're interested in. Then you're going to look at your skills section. So this is really, really interesting. I personally thought that the skills section was like so pointless. All I saw was that it was like a load of like friends of mine endorsing me for skills that they didn't know that I was actually good at. So I was kind of like, okay, this skills section seems like it's just a bit of a pointless, silly thing. But actually it can be really, really useful if you do it right. So again, as I said, LinkedIn is all about SEO. And the more relevant skills you have on your profile, again, the more easily you're going to be found for those particular things. So for example, I might have gender equality as a skill. I might have feminism as a skill. And the more endorsements you get for those skills, the higher up you're going to be found in a search, you know, feature if someone searches, you know, gender equality skill or feminism skill. So again, it just all looks good. And what I would say about this is like, you know, go into your skills, clean out ones that are not relevant, add ones that are relevant. You can have a max of 50, but like you don't need to actually use up the full 50 if you don't want to. And basically you can have 50 skills, but 3 of them actually feature on your profile before you like click in and see them all. And basically you can actually readjust those 3 or kind of whatever those 3 every, you know, however long you want. And basically when people go onto your profile, they're going to be asked, do they want to endorse you for those particular 3? So you can kind of be like switching new ones in and out every so often so that it encourages people to endorse you for a couple different skills each time. So you're building up the endorsements on those skills, on all of your skills, and that you don't just have the endorsements on like 3 ones and then like no endorsements on the rest of your. So it's kind of like a little handy tip that I do personally. And again, don't be afraid to endorse other people for skills, because basically your profile will show up on their profile as a little circle saying, oh, so-and-so has endorsed so-and-so for so-and-so. So again, like it's great for people to endorse you, but it also is good for you to endorse people. It gives you more visibility, which obviously is better and gives you a better chance of achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. Then the next can be said for recommendations. So recommendations, all I'll say is get them. Literally think of people who you've done anything for, whether it's old employers, people that you've collaborated with, any old former students, or, you know, kind of like classmates, whether you did a project with or whatever. Literally write to them and be like, hi, any chance you'd give me a recommendation on LinkedIn? That'd be really nice. What I would say is don't just do it like tit for tat, because it's very obvious. You can be on your profile, you can see that like who you've gotten recommendations from and who you've given recommendations to. So if someone sees that like you got one from someone and you gave it to that same person on like the same day, it's very obvious that you just kind of did it as like, oh, well, I'll give you one if you give me one, and that just doesn't look very good. So try and kind of not do that if you can help it at all. But do give recommendations to people, again, because if someone's on your profile, it makes you look nice and they can see, oh, she gave, you know, a lot of recommendations. She's a nice person. She takes time out of her day to celebrate others. Like, that looks really good. But again, also, likewise to the skills section, if someone is on someone's profile and you gave them a recommendation, again, you're showing up on their profile in their recommendation section. So again, it just looks good. It's good for you, it's good for them, it's good for you. It's a nice symbiotic relationship. So again, get and give recommendations. They are lovely, they show your personality, your character, and it again just looks really good for you. And then kind of quick fire round in the licenses and certification section. Any short courses you've done, again, look at mine for inspiration if you're stuck. I have loads in there, like put loads of courses in there, really just anything you've done, anything you have a cert for, whatever, put it in there. Any nice volunteering that you've done, put it in the volunteer section. Any awards you've gotten or anything, put them in the award section. Any publications you've written, any articles, any blog posts, put them in the publication section. Like again, just like anything you can put on there, put on there. And I know it takes a while, because like if you really want to have a good profile, like just, you know, really it takes a while. But, you know, be building it up every so often, you know, kind of I often think, oh yeah, my profile is done. And then I find new things to put on there. So it really, there's so much potential. You can put so much on there. You can really show who you are. And again, only about 1% of people are actually using LinkedIn for what it's for. So if you're even doing something to stand out or actually really using it to its full potential, you are going to stand out from the rest. And that is only good for what you are trying to achieve. So really, just do not sleep on LinkedIn. I might do a whole other video on why LinkedIn is so great, but today it's just profile tips and tricks. There are probably so much more, but they are my main ones. So really, I would encourage you to do all those. And again, just don't underestimate how important all these things are. Don't just think like, oh, there's no point, whatever. Like, this is the first step. So you do your profile and then you go out into the world and you network. But when you get people on your profile, you want them to stay there. So make sure your profile is the best that it can be, has everything you want to say on there. It tells a story, tells who you are, it makes sense, things aren't contradicting each other in different sections, very important. And just make it a nice place to be. Make it, if you want to, make it colorful or just nice and pleasant. Like, just make it a nice place that people will want to go and stay on and offer you a job potentially. I will leave a link to my previous video on how to find a feminist job using LinkedIn in the bio below. But that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed it and I really hope that you apply these tips and tricks. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this, and give the video a thumbs up, and comment if you have any questions or if you want to add to what I've said, please do. And I will see you all in next week's video. Thank you so much and bye.